What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of On the Pipe podcast. This was by far my favorite episode that we've recorded to date. This was actually the night before my birthday, so it actually turned to my birthday during the podcast, which was pretty cool. But we were just sitting around. It was me and a great group of friends. It was myself, Trevor Barrett, Connor Smith, Braxton McGee, Jack Reep, Craig Oberholzer, Tyler Bruton, and Allie Smith. All just kind of hanging out, talking about everything under the sun. We had a lot of fun doing this one. Believe it or not, this is the very first podcast that I've ever recorded where I actually went back and listened to it. I've never listened to any of the podcasts before, but I went back, listened to this one. I think that you guys will enjoy it. Let me know what your thoughts were on it. As always, we want to say a big thank you to our good friends over at Armored Graphics. You can check them out online at armoredgraphics.com. That's graphics with an X. Or you can follow them on social media at Armored Graphics Inc. But thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this episode of On the Pipe podcast.
10 seconds!
Are you doing an ISD recap or
Probably
no?
not. She don't have any money ever.
I don't know. You guys want to do ISD?
Give us like three
Find out tomorrow.
I don't know what's going on with the ISD.
I don't know. Pen and
I know Taylor Robert
You can-
is back
you
in
get
the
it for
lead
$40.
overall.
We can do some Googling.
Well, we're
Anything
live
over
right
that
now,
yourself
so if
profit,
anybody's got
so.
some ISD updates, let me
We're
know.
live?
Ask around tomorrow, see how many you can
Do
sell.
what?
Okay.
Australia pull her
So, welcome everybody. See, look, it's already awkward. Look,
No,
because
it's
you're
not.
fucking
You're
We're listening to
talking.
you do the
Alright.
intro.
Oh, okay.
You
Intro.
said not to talk over you.
I said, okay, fair enough. Anyway, welcome to
This is day
episode 14. Is that what I said
Are
it
you
was?
sure it is 14?
I'm
You
like-
need to check that.
Guesstimate.
I'm 98% sure
Just guesstimate it. You're good.
that I'm almost positive.
Hey, 69% of the time it works every time.
Yeah, and I heard that actually 67% of stats are made up. So it doesn't really matter. So we're
Doesn't
here,
matter.
episode 14. Tyler Bruton, late as always.
Bad luck, Bruton.
We got a couple podcast alumni. Tyler
we doing?
Bruton, been on the show, been late before, in the building. Trevor Barrett, been on a couple more, few times. Rack Jeep, been on the show. We got Connor Smith. We got Braxton McGee. We got Craig Oberholzer. We got Allie Smith. We got me.
Been
Couple
on
dogs.
Every time.
We're rolling deep.
Yeah.
Allie
See,
Smith is my sister.
In case anybody was wondering.
Yeah,
If
if anybody was wondering,
Connor,
that's-
thanks for
this is
clearing
what-
that
Hold
up.
on, do you really think anybody knows who Allie Smith is?
I mean,
Yeah.
now they do.
Anybody
I
knows
know.
anybody?
Yeah.
When I go
That's
to
Savage
class, people are
Sue's
like,
daughter.
Oh, how's Connor? And I'm like,
They
I
think
don't
you
know
are
who
Connor.
But
You chuck a mustache on
But-
Allie. That's Connor Smith right there. It's fantastic.
Ain't it? They look
Get a
just
set of Vans
alike.
on her and a Subaru
I
under.
don't think we look anything alike.
Y'all look
actually.
just alike.
Yeah, you guys are fucking
okay.
Because he
God,
You
looks
do,
like
but
Dad.
you don't.
He looks like Dad. I
No,
look like
it's
Mom.
really weird because if you think she's hot,
I really
that
hope
means you think he's hot.
Yeah,
So,
you think I'm
Trevor,
cute,
you're a
don't you?
fucking weirdo.
Trevor, you think I'm cute, don't you, man?
Hey, Connor's got a hell of a set of legs on him. Not a single person here can deny it.
You're fucking
Everybody's talking
adorable.
over everybody already.
Jack.
Anyways, I need to give a shout out to the Bad Luck Bruton page on Instagram.
Everyone
It is
knows.
Everybody
definitely
follow.
worth a follow.
Wait. So, first of all, we got a couple damn champions in the room.
National.
Couple.
We got one.
I got an AMA title plaque sitting right there.
Excuse me. Connor Smith is the damn full gas sprint enduro
You
right.
right?
Oh,
He's right. He's
right.
open A champion. I should know that.
Yes,
open
sir.
A-holes. That's what I called you
Open
guys.
A-holes. Well, I've heard that multiple times.
Connor Smith was the open A-holes because they like to wait 25 minutes before the next class.
Dude, just stop. We like to take our time.
I know. I noticed. I know the announcer. He told me.
Hey, you gotta take your time on a good A-hole.
Yeah.
Well,
you do.
if you're anything like Connor and Bryson, you'll show up a good 3 minutes late to your start time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Especially if Jack's working on your bikes.
I got to make a special reminder just to get Braxton to the staging area on time. Braxton McGee, second place, full gas sprint enduros.
Pro 2.
Killed it. Pro 2.
Okay.
Is a freaking animal.
Why'd you just like shrug that off like it was no big
Yeah.
deal?
That's Pro 2 second place, dude.
Okay, it's not first.
If you ain't first, you last. so-
Exactly. I mean,
First.
Braxton just wants to
Way
go
faster than I'll
like
ever go,
Rick
and
Rowan.
that's pretty damn
exactly.
cool. And then we got Bad Luck Bruton. the GNCC 25 plus Junior AB national
Oh, that's
champion.
hell.
Ooh, yes, sir.
I can't wait till I get to that 25 plus class.
Hey, when you
I'm
get
only
in
4
Walker,
years
bud,
away.
Speaking of 25 plus, I do gotta just throw it out there. I was so excited to turn 25 to race 25 plus. I was like, I might finally like do decent. I've still never raced a 25 plus class, and my 26th birthday is in 38 minutes.
38 minutes, and then we're going to be celebrating the Shepherdson's birthday party.
Not really.
Huh.
Oh, it's
This is a big old birthday blast podcast.
See, the
It's
thing is,
birthday
I've already
blast
gotten paid for
podcast.
tomorrow, so
Do what?
I've already gotten paid for tomorrow, so I really don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
you
mine
go.
I haven't got paid for
my,
tomorrow. I
my
gotta go to
payment
work
comes
at
in
freaking
38
6
minutes.
I get
Right,
paid
so
on
last time I
Thursday.
skipped last Friday.
Oberholzer trucking doesn't pay me. I'm just
You
paying about it.
haven't
He's a-
worked all week.
So,
I
He's a
worked all week
volunteer.
long.
so I heard that the United States is down 5 minutes and 50 seconds from Australia now.
5 minutes and how many seconds?
50 seconds.
God
And they only have
that's
3
the
riders.
It's like the
That's
designation's
a
just
world
not as
trophy
bad.
team.
We got Josh Strang out there killing it.
Josh Strang is killing it.
He
He's
is.
killing
Kind
it.
of an American.
I feel like
I
feel like
classify him
Zach
as
Bell
American.
is really not showing up to the plate like I thought he was going to.
Until the last
But
day.
his
when
score gets
it's weather.
dropped. So
Oh, hold on. One
It
of the
does,
tests got
but-
canceled today, though, didn't it?
Test
Hold on,
4.
you said Zach Bell didn't show up? Is that
I
what
mean,
you
he's
said?
riding very well, but not to the desert standard.
He's a moto dude.
But he's a desert rider. It's a powder track.
He's from Florida.
It's a powder track.
dude, you don't know about the Great Floridian Desert?
Now, Tyler, can you fill everybody in on who Taylor Jones is?
She's
Well,
dude, she's
winning.
leading the women's trophy team class by like 4 minutes.
Is she leading or is the other chick?
Taylor Jones is leading by almost 4 minutes.
Hey, we need one of our
I
jerseys.
thought the
in
other
living room.
Australian was
We got
leading.
Mackenzie's.
No,
Ranger.
nope. I think she's like 4th.
And then USA has a 3 minute and 19-second lead over Italy.
So we just need Australia to
Third.
lose a rider.
What's the junior trophy team doing?
I hadn't seen that yet.
I know Grant Baylor's killing it. Grant's in like 7th or 8th place overall.
He dropped a little bit today, I think.
Yeah, it's
Josh
shoulder
would
issues.
Josh
3
would end
seconds.
up in getting 2 top 5 overall finishes today.
Dang. I saw
Grant.
Josh Toth got. Is that what you just said?
Josh 2 top 5s. Yeah.
Grant's kind of out. 3 separated shoulders. Set him
But he's
back.
still
No, he's
ripping,
still-
dude.
he's
He's
still
still like
digging.
8th overall.
It
Yeah.
set him back today.
It ain't something in the water. It's
He's
something in
still-
that crown, dude.
He's still
It ain't the water. It's the crown.
And then, so Ryan Sipes actually dropped a good bit today. He had a bad get off earlier in the week, and
He's
I guess
still
that's
sitting
catching up to him
4th
now.
and E1 though.
4th and E1, but what, 13th, 14th overall?
I'm not sure the overall.
Strang moved
Toth
up.
is 5th overall in E1
For the week? Progressive?
overall.
Oh, for E1.
Overall
For
E1.
E1.
Okay.
And then
I think he was
you know
third.
Where's he at, like, Cat 1 overall?
I think he was 30th as of maybe yesterday.
No, I'm
But
not
that's
sure
the thing
if I'm-
about Toth and Ben Kelly. Both of them are getting faster every
Progressively.
single day. Every single
yeah.
day,
They're-
each one of them is getting...
2
Toth
hours.
had a couple top 5 tests today.
But 2 hours in the race is when they start turning it up in a GNCC.
Yeah.
Speaking
But-
of fast, is Sanders
have a
and
big
Milner have been absolutely dominant.
But you know,
Alright.
They're top 3 every
I
time.
mean, we got some dry,
Taylor
dusty
Robert mixed in
conditions.
there,
That's
too.
typical Milner conditions there.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
been crushing
But
it.
Milner's unreal. Milner won the day yesterday, but Taylor Robert got him back today. and took the overall.
I saw Sipes at Ironman. You know, he DNF'd at Ironman, and I saw him going into the pits, and he was holding his back. So I wonder if that's affecting him any at the ISDE.
I don't know. That's
He-
a good question.
He got off the bike at Ironman after the second lap and was walking through the pits with his hand on his back.
So let me ask you guys this. You guys probably know more about the ISDE than I do. So
Probably so.
I was watching Destry Abbott. He crashed out, so he's done for the week. But
Is he not still out there anymore?
no, he's done. He was done on day 2. First test of day 2.
I saw his day 1 post about he wasn't feeling real great and stuff like that, but I hadn't seen that after that.
Yeah, so first test of day 2, he had a bad get off, but he was explaining it and then said that he had that get off, and I think it was like an hour and a half ride. He was like on the next hour ride for the transfer section to the next test, and I had no idea that those transfer sections would be that long.
It's like an national enduro, but less test, and it's a team event.
But how long are those transfer sections?
They could be, I mean, like you said, hour and a half, or 5
That's
minutes.
nuts. It's
or-
that long. And then I saw Auntie post something like the whole American team riding down an interstate.
Yeah, they ride in between cars. Like, they were racing. One of the tests had cows just roaming
Yeah, I saw
Cows.
that. And horses
through
and
the test. I mean, you're in a foreign. You're in like almost a. I don't want to say third world country, but
They have
It's
they have
not-
a
it's not America.
they have a lot of that problem with the Baja too. You know, a lot of those trophy trucks got pulled over a couple years ago for coming down the interstate, and they stopped like 10 of the top trophy trucks for speeding down a interstate. But the FIM today went and changed and added 10 seconds in between each start time to deal with the dust. Added another 10 seconds.
between like the intervals of when people take
Yeah,
off.
Like, you
intervals
have-
in between takeoffs
You've got to
where
be. It's like an old school or enduro. I think I've never been. I don't really know, but you can be late to start your test.
yeah, but they added 10 seconds today
Exactly.
to deal with the dust.
Like you can be late to in between the transfers
But-
for your next
Yeah, and get
test,
penalties, right?
and you'll get a minute penalty. I'm
But
not
could you
too sure.
could you imagine how dusty it would have to be out there for the FIM to come in and say, "Hey, we're going to add another 10 seconds here because it's so dusty that nobody can see."
Oh, it was just
Oh,
silt.
dude.
It was just silt ruts.
It's gotta
I've been
be
seeing all them videos and stuff that everyone's been posting. It's absolutely
Blowouts.
nuts.
And we've never seen anything like that in the South. Up north, I've seen it on some J-Day videos, stuff like that, like some real silt ruts. But down here, it's just so hard packed, it's just dusty. But
So how would you prepare for something like that?
go to California.
That's where Stu. I know right coming
Really,
into,
anywhere out west would be
coming
good for that.
coming into Ironman. I know Stu spent a couple days out west.
And that was a good move.
It was. I mean, I'm sure
Well,
it was a
because
solid move.
Stu didn't get the call until late after Caleb got his shoulder surgery,
Yeah.
and so Stu flew out there to test with that KTM team.
I was talking to him the week before Ironman, and I said, "Hey, you coming up to Ironman?" He said, "No, I'm out in Cali." So I guess he got whatever he was trying to figured out, and then he came back into Ironman.
So I wonder what he did. Did he I assume rode Caleb's bike? And they just changed everything over? Like,
Nah,
didn't it take forever to
I
get a
think
bike over there?
he brought his own suspension. So the bike was already in the crate. The bike had already been
So it would've
shipped.
been Caleb's bike he would have been riding, right?
Yeah, so I was talking to Eric Kudla about that whole situation, and he was basically saying that whoever went to fill in for that had to be a KTM rider because that's the bike that was over there. So yeah, Stu basically flew down there with his own suspension,
Right.
put that suspension on the bike, and then they set the bike up for
Which,
him.
honestly, I've seen guys. I actually saw a Canadian fly here with a bike in duffel bags to race Big Buck one year. So I mean, you could really.
Almighty.
The only thing that didn't make it through was the engine. So it eventually made it through, but brand new bike. They tore it down to bolts, frame, everything. He had 3 or 4 duffel bags. Hauled it through the airport, put it together, raced Steel Creek and Big Buck.
That's crazy.
That's
So-
commitment.
We saw a guy. He showed up at Steel Creek. This was probably 2011 or 12. He showed up in a regular pull-behind camper, and he had his bike completely tore down and stuck up under those small hatches under a regular pull-behind camper. Had his bike tore down so far that he had it stuffed in those under compartments in a pull-behind camper. Pulled it out on Saturday when he got there, put that thing together, raced it on Sunday, took it back apart and stuck it back under his thing and took it home on Sunday afternoon.
Lord,
That's badass.
I've seen a guy.
Some dedication.
That's severe.
His practice race vehicle was a minivan. So he took one of the seats out in the back and took the forks off, took the front wheel off, and rolled the handlebars down, picked it up, rolled it in the minivan, and every time he wanted to go ride, he had to do that, pull it out, and put it back together. Every time.
That's when we were running 65s. We had a 97 Dodge Caravan. We had the seats took out of it. We'd roll the 65 in the back of the Dodge Caravan, take it to the Mid-East races.
Dude, I caught shit for running around in a Nissan hardbody for like 5 years.
Well, that was Ohio, so it's different.
Yeah, you don't count.
What's wrong with a dang Nissan hardbody? I used to have one.
Dude, there was nothing wrong with it. It was badass.
Yeah, the hard body was sick.
We'd leave. We left and we had 2 bikes and back up from Southern Ohio. Came all the way down to Motivated, and everyone was just talking shit about not thinking the Nissan was gonna make it back up north.
It probably wasn't.
Yeah, what made it?
Dude, them things are bulletproof.
The one time I rode with Craig or the second time I rode with Craig to Ohio, the first time I drove my Jeep, the second time I rode with Craig to Ohio, we made it to Charleston, West Virginia, and the truck blew up.
We were in a '78 F100.
He was like, no, it'll make it.
And I guess I had 30 over pistons in, and they're like, you have to run 93 in this thing. And we got to the gas station in Wytheville. I was getting like 9 miles per gallon. I was like, you know what, piss on this thing. We're running 87. I ain't put 93 in it. It didn't make it 100 more miles, and it went poo.
We made it to Charleston, West Virginia, and luckily I had AAA. And so it was 103 miles. So it cost us $14 to tow it 114 miles.
Braxton McGee. What's going on, man?
Pro 2, second place, first loser. What are you doing next year?
Been in the gym. He's definitely getting
So
better.
let's go from here. So, Braxton, I heard that you're going to the gym a lot more, and
You've been going
so
with them, Jack.
and
That's that guy's name you were telling me about, Jim?
yeah, Jim, that guy, yeah. So right now, you think you're in better shape than you were the whole this past season. You think you're
Timing sucks, doesn't it?
so
Getting
you
ready for next year.
getting ready for next year.
Oh, what's
so
going on next year? What's your plan?
Oh, you know, XC1, Cali 450, racing against Vendetti.
You're the other one.
God.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
So Bryson's in the shape of his
Shots
life
fired.
right now.
Just wait till next year.
So I've been going to the gym with him these past couple days,
Nobody listens to this podcast.
and
What
He's-
podcast?
exactly.
he's scraped 3 minutes off of his 2 mile time in the past week and a half
What, running?
running.
Yeah.
Dear God, what was
Like
it?
a fucking
at
honey
first?
badger.
That's
He's
a
crazy.
minute.
It was only like a 64-minute 2 miles.
You're a better man than me. If you see me running, you better run too, because someone's chasing me.
That's
I
why-
don't do
that's
that
why
shit
I'm
for
moving.
fun. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that right now. Connor, what are you doing next year?
Well,
I'm taking over the riding.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
Allie's
so
not
Allie-
taking over the riding.
The
I
two-stroke
can-
or the
Alright,
four
better
fatty?
read
Yeah, are you gonna ride the 2-stroke or the 450?
450. Go
450?
big or go home.
All right. Well, you can't ride that in XC2.
Who said she's running next year?
Exactly.
Yeah,
She's
She's
an
going like
AC1
25
mother.
plus.
She said, "Mama didn't raise no bitch."
exactly. Shouts out to you, Mom.
You gotta be able to start the 3.
Dude, you know what I would do if I was semi-fast enough? Somebody needs to get a damn
Dear
Alta
God, here we go.
Yes.
and
You
sign
can't
up for
race it.
XC1.
You can't race in AMA.
Yes, you can.
All right.
You can race in open displacement classes, which is XC1. So someone should get an Alta, line up in XC1, get every single hole shot, and pull off in the second turn. And
I
get
said
your
the same
$400
thing.
and go
I said
home.
the same
We
thing.
rode. Me and Braxton got to ride the Altas at the
The full gas.
Pennsylvania full gas, I think it was.
it Ohio?
No.
West Virginia.
Ohio, the Jollymon.
Yeah,
Jolly
well
yeah, Ohio.
How jolly was it?
Those things are insanely fast.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
No.
It's a full-blown dirt bike.
Yeah,
Like, I thought
it'll-
it was going to be like a little
Off the
scooter.
line, it'll blow a 450.
I have a question.
for 30 minutes until the battery goes dead.
Will
Yeah.
Carolina KTM have a Alta to demo this weekend?
They'll have multiple.
If it doesn't.
Yes.
So
Up
okay,
there
if
in,
it doesn't
Even though
cancel for
Alta
the
is
rain.
no longer a thing as of right now.
So here's my
They're
next
just
question.
ceased operations.
So here's my next question. So KTM and Husqvarna both dropped electric 50cc, or the comparable of electric 50.
Do they buy Alta?
So is
It's the rumor.
that going to be a class, or are they going to race with the 50s?
See,
or
so
They'll
that's
make 'em.
what I'm having a hard time understanding is because when you're talking about an electric bike, there is no CCs.
There is nowhere
so
for them to
how
go.
are they going to come out and say this is a 50cc electric bike?
No,
but
they'll
you've
just
got a
make
hopped
whole
up
nother
motor. How do you know if
Yeah.
somebody's got a hopped up motor or?
Because
Little hopped
you
up
can't
battery.
hop a motor. I mean,
You can't
Yeah,
really.
can you?
you
You,
can't
can
really-
go brushless, or you can go.
I'm sure they're already about as hot as they
you
can
can
get.
put a Bosch or a DeWalt in that thing.
You can go series battery.
And they keep-
12
I mean-
volt, 20 volt.
Man, I got that black and
18
Decker
volt.
50.
I know, but what keeps you from synchronizing batteries batteries or whatever
Really,
else.
there's probably something I don't know.
Like, I wonder if it's
You
like
could probably
around.
plug something in at the line and say, all right, you're good.
I feel like all you could change on that is the way the power comes on
Exactly.
and the gearing.
So should electric?
But how can you compare that to a 50cc two-stroke?
You make a whole nother class.
But what's
just
the
like
weight
they did
difference?
when they made the oil-injected 50s?
What's the weight difference?
I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
don't think it'd be as much. Ain't nothing
No,
there.
no,
Well, the
batteries
Alta,
are
the
heavy.
Alta's
Yeah,
way more than
The
a dirt
batteries
bike.
and
Yeah, they're
motors
heavy.
are
It's
pretty
a
heavy.
50 though.
The batteries are heavy.
But
Still, the
batteries are
batteries
heavy.
are going to be heavy.
But the weird thing about the Alta is when you ride it, that thing moves around like a damn mountain bike because you don't have the rotating mass of the whole crank and,
and all
everything
the
going
weight
on.
is centered.
Yeah.
Centered in line.
I mean, you could feel it was heavy sitting on it, but once you're riding, you can't feel any of the weight.
Yeah.
I rode it just around like a little backyard track, and that thing will. You put it on 4 and it's too much.
Put you on your ass.
What were those?
Two is all you need.
What were those front wheel drives?
The
The
Christini.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they had a. I think it
All-wheel
was
drive.
13 or 14. They had them out on the practice day at Windy Hill, and I rode one of those, and it
did
felt
too.
like. It felt like coming into the corner, the front wheel was jumping, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I thought it
I
was
thought it
like,
wouldn't be
not a
standing
motocross
up.
bike.
do what?
You lay into a
Yeah,
turn,
and it was like,
Definitely.
boom, boom,
and if the
boom,
back
boom,
tire
boom.
slides at all, the bike wants to stand up because
Yeah.
the front
It's not a
pulls and it
motocross
just-
bike at all.
No, but it was like, glang, glang, glang. It was
But
just
you get
throwing.
stuck on a rock.
It's perfect, yeah,
that's-
The
that's
thing, I feel like that's good for endurocross and endurocross only.
but the thing with the
And they've got a long ways to go before you can even run them in a GNCC because of batteries.
The
No,
Altas?
no,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Christina.
Altas, but we're talking about the
Oh,
front wheel
Christinas.
drive.
Yeah.
But the
Pay
thing,
attention.
it's
I was
a
kidding.
it's a
it.
it's a
I
off
remember my
it's
first
a-
time.
it's an off road bike, but yet all these series are not off road anymore.
They aren't.
So, I think Alta would be perfect for something like a full gas.
It'd
The
be
full
awesome.
gas, I could see it
But
being really good.
It depends.
Yeah.
What's the charging period on one?
It depends.
what-
You can either get like
Yeah.
the 120 volt or the 210. Is that
and
what
it
is?
also depends what setting you run it on.
But
Dude, so I rode it. Me and RJ Cook rode them together. Which RJ Cook, another Pro 2 rider, in full gas. 2 is all you need. Like
Yeah.
when you're in the woods, all you need is 2.
3.
What did you ride it on,
maybe
Connor?
on like a.
I
motor
rode
track.
mine.
Yeah.
I rode it all the way down, which it felt kind of like it'd be a 250F, I guess you could compare it to. And then all the way up, it was faster than a 450. So,
Yeah. But like in the woods, I think map 2 is all you need.
yeah. It's
But-
too responsive on the
They,
hottest
they
map.
say on map 2 it can last 45 minutes. That's not true, I don't think. If you're getting on it. But
Yeah.
I was
It's
talking to the
gotta-
guy from Alta. He said he thinks there's going to be one more big jump in battery life where it's going to be a significant increase, and after that it's going to be all small. But like, could you imagine if they had that bike performing as it is and could go 3 or 4 hours without a doubt?
The only thing that
Or-
bothers me about it is once that battery starts dying, once it gets below 50%, does the bike start
No.
suffering?
Nope.
No, it,
No.
it runs at 100% until it's dead, and it dies
Like
immediately.
it goes
Needs a
100%. You hit a
goes zero.
triple every lap.
Yep.
It's the same until the summit cuts off in
Yes.
there.
So it's got a limiter in it so it won't go under a certain percentage and it won't go over a certain percentage. So it doesn't kill that battery faster. But as soon as you pull it off the charger, it's going to run the same as when it has 1 bar left of battery life.
Gotcha. Makes you feel better
So
about
is
it.
it gonna be like
Yeah.
so if the Altas if the battery gets this much better and they can run them for 2-3 hours or whatever it is it gonna be like the Polaris? You know they came out with those, what is it, the X1s or the 1-seater 1000s? Is it gonna be where
Ace.
the Aces? Yeah. Is it gonna be where they have to create their own class for them, or are you gonna be able to run an open A class, or are you gonna be able to? I mean, it's open A class is a run what you brought A class. You know, it's
So MX
the-
Sports and AMA, what they said as of right now, from my understanding, is you can run them in any open displacement class.
an open class is run what you brought to the track,
But-
right?
Unlimited
You could not
CCs.
run them at Loretta's.
Yeah,
this
you
year.
can't run them at all. at
So
Loretta's.
how many years would you expect to see an electric bike be able to run at Loretta's then?
Well, they got to start operations back up first.
Yeah, that would be step 1.
KTM's got one, don't they?
Well,
They
there's
got
another
that
brand
free
too.
ride.
They
They
got
got
the
electric
free
Redshift,
ride.
I think it's called, is the other
What?
brand. Redshift's the
No,
other.
Red Shift was made by Alta.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Redshift,
Redshift was when they were putting like the 300 two-strokes in Honda frames.
Nah, that's.
I thought there was another e-bike brand like.
Redshift is the moto version of.
You're talking
Alta.
about OSET?
Okay. No, OSET's the little trials bikes.
Yeah.
Did you see
It's
the?
like XC or SF.
Did you
It's
see
like-
the
it's like-
Yeah.
FMF?
Apparently Harley Davidson just patented an electric bike.
Really?
Because Harley Davidson was the biggest backer for Alta.
Correct.
And then they backed out.
Correct.
And that's why Alta went under. So from what I heard, and this is coming from an Alta dealer, they're saying that Harley was their biggest backer. Harley was threatening to back out, and Alta had a deal worked out with KTM where they thought KTM was going to come in and invest what Harley was doing. So they basically said, all right, screw you, Harley. We're not going to deal with you anymore. So Harley backed out, and then KTM fell out on the deal that they had. And that's why they're in the situation right now where they're ceasing all operations. That and the fact that they chose to make their bikes in California, which is about the most expensive place in the entire world you could choose to make anything.
And their bikes are also $13,000.
Yeah, that was the part I was waiting to be brought up because that is
So-
insane.
So does anybody, you know how, like, I'm going to bring it to, like, the cars. You know, there's Toyotas, Dodges, all this other stuff. You know, Kia came into the market and undercut everybody with a car that was comparable, like, integrity, but was half the prices of everybody. Does anybody see a motorcycle brand coming in and cutting the prices of everybody and...
Cannondale.
They tried it.
Suzuki.
Cannondale.
We got
Cannondale tried it.
an 18 for $5,000.
But, you know, is anybody going to come in and have a comparable bike, like a Yamaha or Suzuki, and just come in and just cut the market and still have
You couldn't.
still have a very rideable bike?
There's not enough. You couldn't make a motorcycle good enough to compete with a Husky KTM Yamaha.
But my
To
thing,
be bought for the price.
$5,000.
okay, but the price of a motorcycle to me or you is, I mean, a Husqvarna off the floor is, I mean,
For the normal person,
$10,000
$10,000.
is $10,000 for a Husqvarna. $10,000. If you're going to buy it just at your local dealership, it's $10,000 for a 450. So, if a brand is starting up and they have all these companies coming together, like your Fort brands, where if you're going to produce 100,000 models of this bike, you're getting them cheaper and cheaper and cheaper the more models you're producing. So, is it possible for somebody to come in and cut the motorcycle market the way Kia did the cars?
No.
I don't think so. Because
I don't see
Kia,
that.
you got to think, Kia didn't start a new company. They didn't build a car from scratch. They didn't come out of nowhere. Kia's been around for forever. They're like the ugly girl in high school that came out afterwards and got hot, and you're like, oh, dang, I might want to.
Great
analogy.
analogy.
Perfect
Jesus
analogy.
That's exactly
Christ.
what happened with Kia.
Spot on.
But that's
So you're talking about, you can't just come out with a motorcycle and be like, here's one that can compete with everyone on the market. Like, that's years of research and
Beta
development, getting
But-
it right.
You know,
Honestly.
that was what Husqvarna was doing. That KTM bought it up and said, "Hey,"
And
these
they
Hus-
made it a KTM with white
exactly.
plastic.
That's exactly what. And they said, "Hey, here's a."
It made it more expensive.
And then it was, "Hey, this is our sister brand. We're going to make it a KTM, but it's going to be $5,000 more expensive than us."
Here's the thing. You can put KYB. You know the suspension companies.
Yeah.
KYB, Showa, WP. Am I missing one? Anybody? There's a big three.
that?
Sounds about like it.
Owens
So
Owens is aftermarket.
Beta
still,
is a great motorcycle.
yeah.
It's got a great motor, great frame, but they're running a Sachs rear end and a Marzocchi fork.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because the price of the motorcycle, it costs them so much to make the motorcycle, and then
But go in
they
just
can't afford to put the good suspension on it. You put KYB or WP on a Beta, that's probably one of the baddest motorcycles on the market.
so the perfect example of that. 2018 Gas. KYB suspension.
But they
Brand new
spent
frame.
all-
It's pretty much a KTM frame. It's pretty much Honda everything else, and a different motor that they design. That ain't a damn world beater.
So Here's my theory on it. It's a first generation bike.
Yeah.
First year of that frame, of everything else. The only thing we know that works is the suspension. What did they spend their money on?
I don't know, because that's an $11,000 motorcycle.
I think it's awesome.
I
The
don't
300
see it.
I read was pretty.
I don't see it. And I was
Pretty
honestly,
fantastic.
I'm not hating on the gas. I was honestly thinking about riding one. Because of I like KYB suspension. It's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started hearing horror stories from other people.
Who?
People unknown about
What?
melting pistons and busting radiators, but
And
Was it
I mean,
Damon Bradshaw?
it was not.
and what was it? 2013 Husqvarna. They were paying ridiculous contingency money and all this.
That's
But-
the
Dude, that thing was-
original Husky.
Yeah,
That was
but
made by BMW.
the
They had the
redheads.
Marzuki forks on
I
the
had
back.
a 13 redhead.
The-
I had a 13 two-stroke. I had it for 2.1 hours and it threw the rod through the case.
See, I
But
had,
it
I had
had
a
the-
TXC 310,
Those
and
were
it
sick.
freaking fused the flywheel to the, like the starting gear, fused it to the flywheel.
But in 2013, it had the 4CS forks on it,
Fuck those.
which was that's the same
Fuck
fork.
4CS.
But that was the
It
same
sucked.
forks they were running in
Here,
06 on a
Tyler, first words
Kawasaki.
you've said in the podcast.
4CS is air forks.
No, no,
4CS.
no,
That's-
no, no.
No, that's 15 and
4CS is
16
16.
KTM.
I thought they were air forks though.
Nope.
Air
No.
Force is 18, 17, 18.
They're just
18.
shit.
But the 13 Husqvarnas had
know.
the same forks they were running on a 06
4CS.
Cowie.
My 14 had 4CS KTM.
They're
Really?
like mountain bike forks.
But the 13
Is that the
Husqvarnas
ones-
had the exact same forks that the 06 Cowies had on them. So I took mine straight to promotion because promotion was apparently the best guy around that could set one up, and I spent about $1,000 on Husqvarna suspension. Took it out the first time I rode it, broke it in, and had 2.1 hours on the freaking hour meter and threw the rod through the case on a two-stroke. 2 hours on a two-stroke is
Back
not even
Yeah.
close.
back to the point. These like companies like Gas, the old Husqvarna, the Betas,
Sherco.
What about TC?
Sherco is actually putting in a big push,
Yeah.
and I feel like they're throwing their money in a certain direction, either suspension, motor, frame, that they can't make a 100% solid motorcycle.
Yeah.
But nobody.
And so
can.
that's the weird thing about the gas specifically. So the guy from Funnel Web Filters, which I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys, the damn spider web,
The
like spiky
porcupine-
filter. Yeah.
the porcupine filters.
Yeah. So the guy from Funnel Web Filters, he lives in Amsterdam. And he came over for one of the full gas races, which ironically he came over for a mud race. So filters didn't really matter because it was a mud race. But he was saying that new 18 gas that everyone in Europe is pumped on. Everyone says that's like the best 300 motor that there is.
I don't doubt it.
But then you start looking at the shootouts and the comparisons between the Husky 300s, the KTM 300s, Sherco 300s, the Beta 300s. It's like it doesn't compare to like the gas and the Husky. And I don't know why, because I've personally been riding that bike all year and I love it. I think it's awesome.
But
So then
y'all keep saying all these bikes about they're paying all this money for the suspension or all these money is on the frame setups or where, but how trash were the 17s Yamaha FXs? How much trouble
Depends who you ask.
But how much you couldn't buy that bike off the showroom and ride it fast.
You can't.
It's not okay. So
That also depends who you ask.
okay, but that's also the difference.
I wish there was somebody that rode one professionally here that we could ask about.
I know. So if there was somebody here, that rode an FX that could tell us.
Well, fuck, ask.
Okay, Braxton, how did you like the Yamahas on the FXs?
I had a bad attitude going in first place about it, but I mean,
You
Why'd
had
you-
the
wait,
you
first
had
of all-
the you had the whole factory Yamaha setup.
What
Do you
was your
agree?
bad attitude going into it?
First off, let's go through the differences between the F and the FX.
Okay, let's go through that. Y'all are the professionals, so let's go through this.
The difference is there's 2 millimeters longer on the shock.
Right.
That's one of the biggest.
Trevor's all about bragging about some 2 millimeter differences.
It's
2
4.
millimeter, that makes all the difference in every aspect of life.
4 millimeters.
Apparently.
Hey, 2 millimeter, 200 mile an hour is hell.
4
Look, Connor's
millimeters.
turning around. Like, dude, I know what you're talking
So
about.
then
Same.
you've got the wiring harness.
Let's start off. It's like what? Like how much heavier is it? It's a good probably like 15, 20 pounds heavier than F.
A 250 FX weighs exactly the same as a 450 F.
Does
So
it?
it's
Exactly the same.
26 pounds.
Okay.
It is 239 pounds.
So, but
The F-
your typical 250 comes in at what, 220?
A KTM comes in at 221.
Yeah.
So, then between the FX and the F, you got the wiring harness,
Right.
which last year I got nothing done to. This year I did, and I took 2 pounds off of that.
Right. Which that's unreal out of just a wiring harness.
Just a wiring harness, yes.
2 pounds.
It's a pain in the ass to put back together once you got to send the bikes back, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's just hearsay.
The transmission's different. Second and third
There it is.
Is there anything different in frame?
has a pretty big gap. No, that was all in your head.
Subframe's different though, isn't it?
No, subframe is not different.
Okay.
It's all in the shock.
It's just the transmission,
It's,
wheel.
it's got a starter.
Flywheel weight's different.
So,
Flywheel
but,
weight is different.
but just in the starter and the battery and the flywheel and everything, that changes the whole center of gravity of the entire bike.
It does. It goes from, somebody look up the wet weight of a YZ250F.
It's 249 for FX.
No, it's 239.
Well, my Husky FC450 is
check
like
on that.
224.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
So the
right.
Yamaha 250F was the second heaviest
So,
250F to begin with, and now you add the starter and the battery of the FX, and it's even heavier.
It's the same weight as the 450.
The way I
Stop.
looked at it is you're taking a 250F that weighs the same amount as a 450 with the same frame, same ergonomics, everything. Same weight, half the motor.
I've rode one. I had the opportunity to ride one. That was a so-called factory Yamaha, and they just seemed that the weight was so far set back or set towards that you couldn't get the front end to settle in any of them. And I talked
See,
to,
that's
That's
I
just
talk-
a Yamaha problem.
but I talked to,
it's
and I'm gonna name drop here. I talked to Jonathan Johnson at.
Oh,
I talked to Jonathan
249.
Johnson at Ironman this year, and he told me that he fought the first 4 rounds this year with suspension trying to get that Yamaha to turn.
well,
But
that's
Jonathan
suspension.
Jonathan grew up riding KTMs and everything, and KTMs turn. They do. They straight away great and they turn good. But he fought the first 4 rounds of the GNCC series this year, trying to get that Yamaha to settle down and to turn, and he lost multiple positions over the year because of the first 4 rounds trying to get that Yamaha set up. So back to the original problem of, you said all these people are spending all this money on suspension, all this money on frames or whatever. So if a Yamaha's a superior bike, how come we got guys going 4 rounds into a GNCC series trying to get them set up to where they can ride them?
how much of that is
what-
people making excuses for not?
But hold
doing
on.
good?
Hold-
But
let me
we
go
all
into
know
that.
these guys
I have
can
the
ride.
answer. I have the answer.
You do.
You damn
Because
But all these guys can ride.
raise the damn fork tubes up in triple clamps.
Because-
That's
half
not a
an
real
inch and you're
thing.
Good.
they want, Yamaha wants their riders riding an FX instead of an F.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole problem. You never hear anybody having those complaints over an F.
Exactly.
But I will say, on my part, not everybody else's, I was happy with my motorcycle.
I had a 2016 250 FX, slightly built, had cams, the GYTR head tuned, bunch of handling goodies on it and stuff, and I did like that bike. It turned real well, Front end felt planted on it. It had a different linkage and stuff on it, mind you.
The link is a big.
Yeah.
But I would be willing to bet that the 2012 Yamaha rode better than the 16 or 17.
I had a 13 Yamaha, and that is
had a
hands
12.
down my
250F
favorite
or
bike of all time.
So why if they took
carbureted?
But I had a 12 250, and it was a freaking dream machine.
Mine was
slow. Mine was fast.
I had a 13
See, I had a stock
450.
one. Stock
No, mine
bike.
was a JGR. It was a freaking rocket ship.
Mine was slow, but it handled like a dream.
Mine handled like a dream, and it was fast.
I'll tell you what, though.
I had a 450. That thing did not handle.
That was when they went fuel injected, though.
I've got an 18 Husqvarna FC 450 with pretty much just suspension and exhaust, and that's it. Other than that, it's stock. And that's probably my favorite bike I've ever rode, handling wise, motor wise, and everything. I mean, the motor on it's so smooth it won't wear you out. You can run a whole 3-hour GNCC and not get tired on it.
Can we get some pictures or videos of this thing right here?
Some would say you got 24 grand in the motor.
This all stock 450 that he's talking about.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's got motor work. The motor's never had the
graphics on it.
It's never had the clutch cover or valve cover taken off of it.
It's got an aftermarket clutch cover on it.
So, back to the Yamaha.
It does have an aftermarket clutch cover.
I thought we were talking about Yamahas over here.
No, we're going to talk about some Husqvarnas now.
We get it. They're good.
All I know is that KTM 300XC, though.
Dude,
I've got a 300 SX Husqvarna over there, and that
somebody's
is a
gonna come in and
motorcycle.
cut the motorcycle market. That's all I got to say.
If you want a fun bike, build you a 300 SX. That is a amazing bike to have fun on.
Kia's gonna come in and cut the motorcycle market.
I hate to be the damn Scrooge. I hate two strokes.
You need to ride that 300 SX because it is fun. Ask Tyler. Tyler's got a 300 XC. It's not a 300 SX, but it's still a 300.
If you want to get the simplicity of a two-stroke but the feel of a four-stroke, the 300 is the best way to go.
That 300, you can ride it like it's
We're
a
talking
450.
to a national champ over here, by the way.
Yeah, national champ.
An
He
old
knows.
man.
You can ride the 300s like they're a four-stroke. They have so much bottom end.
Yeah.
But if you want to get in a field and eat up some 450s, you can. It's all up to you.
Tyler's been around the red light district once or twice. He knows where
He knows where he's going.
He's knowing where he's going when it's talking about the motorcycles.
Yeah, I hate two strokes too.
I hate two strokes, man.
But hey,
you love two
when you
strokes, so
do
you're just
maintenance,
picking on
when
me.
you
I
do
love two
maintenance
strokes.
like I do, dude, literally, I've got 75 hours on a stock piston rings. Change the oil like
I put 220
4
hours on a
times.
stock 450.
I
Alright, side
raced
note.
it for 75 hours all year long.
Stop. Right there.
All right, here we go.
Side
I'm
note.
slow. I know.
We're going to talk about Tyler Bruton's bike
National
maintenance
championship?
routine.
Oh.
How many races you race? At least 12 GNCCs.
No, I skipped 2 and there was only 12. So I
All right, so how many locals? 8.
Local Pro Club
5,
stamp right here, boys.
5, 6.
We're gonna say 8. Let's see, how many times you practice? Let's
Less than I
say
raced.
12, 13 times.
Yeah,
How many times you change your oil?
4, 5.
4. 4 times.
Dude, she runs like a top.
What's your finish?
I bet it sounds like a sewing machine.
Wait. You didn't have one break down 2 miles in, did you? For no reason?
I did not.
I thought so.
Exactly, he didn't because the sumbitch wasn't a 4-stroke and had 17 wires hanging off of it.
Hey, kind of like you were talking about
No,
how you
Braxton,
rode
if we're
a
talking about-
factory. I don't know which one you said now, but riding a factory 250FX, I got to ride one too for about 100 yards,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
and it cut off,
How long?
and it would not start.
Speaking
how
of,
how
gonna
long
take a
did I
guess here and
ride?
say
No,
it was
it
a fuel
started.
I
It
don't know what it
started
was.
eventually.
Yeah, it would start and run for 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, because you rode the
Who,
next weekend, didn't you?
Yeah,
what year was the Kentucky Mutter?
Ooh, that was a
Man,
good
in
13.
2014.
2013. Cody Pingley took a brand new Yamaha to that race and didn't had DNF the rest of the GNCC series that year. Put stators, wiring, everything on that bike.
250
That was on a
450,
13.
Fuel pumps.
no,
It didn't
that
have
would
it,
be
it
carbureted.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the new ones here.
He was
it
talking
a
about
full-
13.
It was the first
so
year it was fuel injected.
The first year's.
That would be 14.
That would be
He must
14.
have just got a 14 as soon as it came out, but that was in like April.
I never heard anything bad about
2013
those bikes,
Kentucky
though.
Mutter. The one I'm thinking of was in 13.
Mammoth.
It was 13.
Mammoth.
It was such a fantastic time. It was great.
Yeah, I had a blast. I parked on the road
that
and
bike
carried my
and
shit in.
DNF'd week after week after week. They put stators and everything.
There
on
was a Georgia Mutter the next
but
year.
you know the saying. You've been saying
Gravity never fails.
Gravity never fails. Bring back the carburetor.
Oh, we are.
Hey, what's
Bring
everyone's
back
opinion
the
on the
carburetor.
Electron carburetor?
They're sick.
I've never rode one, so I don't have to
Dude,
comment on
I've
that.
heard nothing but like they're badass and they're shit. I've never heard people like,
It works on barometric
I've
pressure.
I've heard that it works the best of anything until it doesn't.
I've talked
Right.
to one
It's
person
like a fuel
who runs
pump.
one, and that was on a.
It's exactly like a
KTM
fuel
120.
pump.
That was on a Husqvarna 125, and he did not like it at all.
Okay,
Let me
well,
tell you,
who?
the best thing you can do if
No,
you're
he
riding
loved
a
it.
bike,
Yeah,
Don't
Dustin
hate
told
it.
me he
That
loved
was
it.
at Georgia though, Camp Coker.
Oh, that's like,
Okay,
he was-
Kevin Myers raced one. He just put one in his Husky 300,
Yeah,
and we both fit our bikes up. I have an aftermarket, a Cherubies tank that runs like 3.1, 3.2 gallons.
yeah.
Myers has like a stock, oversized stock tank,
Like
the
the XC tank.
2.6 gallon, whatever it is, stock tank. We both fit up being in the race. I got one extra lap than he did, but I'm down to fumes.
And that's
But
after
how
probably
much
a pit
faster
too.
are
Isn't it?
you running those laps? You gotta think about it.
Dude, he had over half a tank left.
We all know how
I
Tyler
heard those
rides.
electron
He's
carbs are
bottom end rider. He's
good.
not
Yeah,
using
I'm
much
lugging.
gas.
I'm not using much gas. And Myers
Yeah.
literally had half a tank left on a tank that was already a half gallon smaller using the Electron.
but how much lighter is he than
The fuel efficiency, no, we're probably about the same
Yeah, they're
size.
about the
just
same
kidding.
size.
But the fuel efficiency is what sparked my interest in it because I was
Yeah.
like, that's huge.
I mean, the Electron does not have jets.
But I was heard that if you
works
can
on-
jet
Set it and forget it.
if you can jet it, whatever what's the brand carburetor that's in the new two strokes, the new KTM's?
Kunis.
I can go look.
Mikuni, the
crap.
Mikuni two strokes. I heard if you can jet those, they're better than them. But if you're ever changing elevation, you have to rejet it.
Let me tell you,
Well,
the best
a
thing you
little-
can do
Electron's nice.
is take that little booklet they give you when you buy your dirt bike and flip back, and there's a jet chart, and it's got elevation and temperature. And if you say, "Hey, I'm racing in West Virginia this weekend. It's 4,200 feet. It's gonna be 60 degrees." Bam! It'll tell you where to set your needle, what jet to put in, everything. And you could take that little jet and put it in there, and it'll run like a fucking top.
Now
Okay,
I talked to
we're
a guy
gonna-
named.
No, we're
Luke.
gonna backtrack to where I changed my oil 4 times this year.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna go through the
I
effort to
literally-
rejet
all right,
my bike?
side
It's not
note.
gonna happen. That's why the Electron has sparked my interest because like you can like.
So it's for a minimal interest rider.
I did talk to a guy
exactly.
named
I mean,
Luke
but yeah,
Ross.
but like,
him.
I'm racing
fantastic.
every week. I love racing, but I don't spend the time to go through.
You
and-
know how hard it is. All you
I
have
bought
to
a
do,
3 because that's plenty of power.
really, all you have to do is loosen up the boots and turn the carburetor sideways, and you can change the
That's
jet set.
too much.
But
This
dude,
one time, my
how-
buddy
it
Connor
takes a
Smith
bolt
talked to this
to
guy named Luke
drain the oil.
Ross.
Yeah, I talked to this guy named Luke Ross over at Ride On Moto, and he told me that if you put a key in on any of the KTM 2-strokes, that you can jet those bikes and they will run like a top compared to the Mikunis that come on them. The key-ins run so much better, he's saying.
Is that the same one
What?
that they used to come with?
That's one.
Yeah, it's the
14
same ones they
So-
use. Yeah.
Okay.
The only people I know that have ran those Electrons is Dustin Simpson and Jesse Ainsley.
Yep.
And Jesse Ainsley like swears by him. That's
Yep.
all he'll run. But he's the one that was talking about it runs perfect until it doesn't. So he was saying the thing will run good, but then they just cut out for no reason and just stop working.
Yeah.
And then Dustin said the same. Which you said you heard something different, but
But that was early in the season. That was down at Camp Coker. He told me he
That
didn't
was
like it.
first round.
Yeah.
He ran it.
that was the first round. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That he ran.
That was
the
when he first
Electron.
got it, yeah.
Still got third, didn't he?
No, he ran the morning race.
He was on the podium at.
So somebody needs to figure out what came
yeah,
on
He
the
got third.
I can go,
2016 Husky
let me
250s.
go look on the 300 because it's still got the stock 250.
Because no, older than that, the old body
It's
style.
Mikuni.
Because my bike always sounded right.
Okay, so
Your
how-
Husky
My
250?
250
But
very
Daddy-
crispy.
Now on Papa Barrett, he's a carb master.
The carb whisperer.
So the question
Yeah.
is, all right. So if I'm not gonna spend the time to jet my bike
Change the oil.
you-
anywhere I ever go,
that's your own
correct.
damn problem.
Would the Electron be a good investment for me?
Yeah, because you set it and forget it. You never
Do
have to
you
touch
have
it.
Never touch it
600?
again.
Do you have $600 to spend on this?
I mean, if it's gonna help the way my bike runs, maybe.
And yeah.
Did,
What
did
about-
you
You didn't have $600 for oil this year.
Have you looked into the TPI
That's-
bikes? What's up with those?
That also has me very interested.
No, because then you gotta buy
I have to buy
oil.
a whole new bike, but
You have to buy oil and pour it in the frame.
I'd wait for
and
a
that's
couple
just too
generations.
much maintenance for you.
You should
That is
buy
way
a
too much
four
maintenance
stroke.
for you, Tyler.
Tyler, how many times
Oil
did you change
injected?
your oil, you said?
4.
Did you race snowshoe on that bike this year?
Mhm.
Did it act
I
alright?
changed mine probably.
do what?
Did it run good at snowshoe with carb wraps in it?
Here, you know what?
Send
The
it,
gas
fine.
gas
But
is
I know
not.
I know nothing. Like I could ride my bike at 14,000 foot and be like, oh yeah, it's fine. I don't know.
This
The
is the guy
gas
that
gas
this
is
guy,
not
this
my
is,
bike.
Cut
We're
off
talking about
shirts.
we're talking about the same guy that show up to a middies race. It doesn't matter if it's 40 degrees or 105 degrees. He doesn't have a fucking shirt on or cut off.
Cut the sleeves, bud. You
Now-
don't need them.
Never fucking fails.
Craig, you raced my 300 up at Ironman, which is way colder. I don't know about elevation, but it's definitely a lot colder
It's gonna
than
be similar.
the
Elevation-wise.
valving or the jetting that we had in it for down
The
here in North
valves on
Carolina.
the 300.
The 300 doesn't have valves.
I know you said valves.
All right. But, and how did that bike run up there?
Oh, it was flawless.
I mean, I'm
Valves.
pretty
That was
sure I saw
fucking
you
sweet.
doing fourth gear wheelies out of turns.
Yeah.
About coming off the back of it.
Yeah, it don't discriminate. It like to go. There was none.
Yeah,
It was a
to
good
go.
time, and it
Yeah.
smelled good too. That's all that matters.
It smells
Race
very
fuel's
good.
expensive, but it smells
Dude.
so good.
How many
made a bike
races
in
have
a
I shown up
C12.
to that I run 87?
That's right.
We were on C12 in the two
No,
stroke.
see that was the deal with Danny
87?
Smith Racing. He
Dude,
said you gotta pay
I can't too many
$86
times
for
that
the
I've
tank.
like been on the way to the track and like stopped, fill my truck up. I'm pumping 87 in my truck, and I'm like, oh shit, I need gas for my bike. I'm not gonna hang it up and swipe my debit card again, so I just turn around and fill the 5 gallon tank up too, man. Like,
You better be glad that nobody listens to this stupid ass podcast. or
National
you would
champ.
never sell another bike again.
National
All you gotta do
champ.
is take the numbers off of it.
Be like bikes for sale.
I don't know who this
nope,
is, but we
not
got an
buying that
18300.
one. Had
He
the oil
ran-
change
he ran-
4 times.
It's
and
okay.
87 right
I
there.
read E85 in it for 3 races, but no big deal.
Hey, speaking of E85, Craig, you have a turboed Honda. What do you know about E85?
Man, I love vans. I am the vape god.
love vans.
I've been getting tight pants here lately, and I haven't gotten any DMs back on Instagram.
Mind
so
you, Craig
I think I'm
used to
doing
be
pretty
the-
good.
one
How's
of the
your Tinder
biggest
account
country
looking?
boys you knew. And now he bought a Honda, and this is what he's turned into.
Yeah, I need front tires already.
I did do
It also
about
likes to go.
200
Every time
yards.
I see you,
I did
you
like
got
a
different
200
bike.
yard
I don't
third
know
gear
what
burnout
it
bike
is.
car.
Oh, I went
let's-
through four bikes
Bikes,
this year.
cars, trucks.
Yeah,
Tyler,
Anything.
I took
Boats?
his
big
car
women.
the
Yeah,
other day.
I don't. I
Did a
mess around.
third gear burnout
Everybody
for about
missed that.
200
I
yards.
didn't.
Speedometer, I was going like 30 mile an hour. Speedometer was at 100 just all the
It
way.
broke loose at I went because it runs all like shit on 93. And we went and put the 85 in at Statesville, and on the way home it got to cooking pretty good. 90 it broke loose and it went straight to 120. I was like,
I just want
oh
to talk
shit.
about the dirt bike stuff.
Can we do this?
Let's change gears.
Where does everybody see themselves in the racing series next year? Where are they going to race? What series? What bikes?
I think we should just go around the room. I'll start.
You should go. Tyler, you go ahead.
See you, Connor. See you, Braxton.
All right, so let me start first off
All right.
with Tyler.
What are you? No, wait.
What
no.
I think,
everybody
what
explain.
what I think Tyler should do.
Tyler
Bruton.
Bruton. Bad news, Bruton.
I think
Bad luck
Bad
Bruton.
News
Bad luck.
Bruton
Bad
should
luck
roll
Bruton.
up on the plus 25 AB row with a big ass number 1.
Absolutely. What's your
Do it to
original
him,
number?
Tyler.
Yeah, I scored national number 64 last year.
Okay, so 64 with a ghost one right in the
Yeah.
middle
Right
of
in
that
the
piece.
fucking middle.
Like Austin Lee did
Last
that
year, like this just finished year.
No, like the end of
17.
2017.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna get this year?
We don't know.
I don't know yet.
Okay, so whatever your
I would
national
I was-
number is,
I had better
get that
finishes
number in the
last year, but I was
background and
lot
a
worse,
big ass
like,
number 1 right in the
consistency-wise.
middle of it.
Exactly. What is the background for 25 plus
There's
AB?
not
I
one.
think it's white and black.
Badass. A beer can.
America.
You should get black with your number and then little number 1s all around.
Why
it.
don't you just do a black background with American flag letters?
That could be it too. Or American flag.
See.
Rebel flag. We're in the South, bud.
Unless you hate America, I don't see
Alright,
why.
so-
Y'all,
So Tyler's going to
25
do.
plus shows up on line 8. Best case scenario.
Doesn't
Unless you're
matter.
going
So Tyler-
with Bernie,
Tyler-
you need
Tyler's
to get
like
American
25
flag
plus.
letters.
So you're
Listen.
racing next year.
Well, see, I was gonna say like I'm not sure that I want to race the national next year, because I'm racing all out of my own pocket. I'm racing as a pure hobby, I just spent a lot of money to travel to every race this year, which Trevor hooked me up a lot with travel and stuff like that. Well, Scotty Barrett hooked me up a lot with traveling this year.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I want to pay to
Your
go
boss
travel.
man hooked you up with damn campers that blow tires.
Yeah, and I fucked his shit up too.
Okay.
That's a long story we ain't gonna
So,
get into.
hey,
So-
listen, just
We'll
so
get into it
everybody
later.
knows, me, Trevor, and Tyler all drove back from Snowshoe on Monday, and it took us fucking 14
I didn't get home
hours.
till lunchtime on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, you spent the night at the damn camper place.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so Shep Shots. Are you going to announce for the Full Gas Series next year?
Speaking of Shep shots, what happened to Shep shots?
It's never been a real thing.
I used to take
You
those
race the
pictures.
motorcycles
Then.
in next year.
You
I'm
see, the
drinking
thing
beer.
is I got drunk one time, and
Dude, alcohol is my downfall.
So you
think it's your best friend.
you bit the hand that fed you.
I like
No,
Marty.
so
It's his
Hooper
birthday.
told me to get my dad jokes ready for next year. So I don't know what that means.
So that means you're in.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like an end to me.
But
So are you going to race any of the Full Gases next year?
Well, if he's announcing, that ain't gonna be a thing.
It could be a thing.
It
He
could be a thing.
He could let me take over the mic for a couple days.
Honestly, Jack, you do pretty good on the mic. I'm not gonna lie.
I could see it.
here,
You might get in
So,
trouble.
for me, and
It
this
can't
is,
be worse than that.
dude, this is hard for me to talk about because I'm the slowest fucking person in this room.
Probably not.
Is
But
it because you're a year older now?
yes.
Have you seen?
Oh shit!
Hey,
it's my
Happy
birthday!
birthday! Yeah.
26 plus. No, so I don't know, man. It's weird because, like, I've grown up competitive like my whole life. Like I wrestled my whole life. What? No.
Short story.
Okay.
Keep going.
So my biggest thing is like I love racing dirt bikes, but I know I'm never gonna amount to shit. But like I
That's
want
the
to
best
race.
part, though.
I want to
It
race just
really-
because
it
I
really
like.
is.
Dude, that's the best realization that you
It
can
really
come
is
to.
the best part.
Yeah. So
I've came
like,
to that realization too. You know, racing pro and making your money for it is very
y'all are trying to kill me.
Terrible.
is you know you have this
birthday,
dream
bud.
in your head
Hey, thanks,
that
man.
hey, I've got to succeed and I've got to race or where at the point you come to hey, I'm just doing this for fun. Dirt bikes completely changes for you. It's like it goes from this job or this task to hey, I'm just doing this shit for fun.
Well, it's not even for fun. For me, it's testing myself. It's no, like, I don't care what class I'm racing, who I'm racing against, what my overall is. Like, for me, it's just going out there. Like, if I rode really well and got last place in my class, I'd be way happier than if I rode like shit and won. So my biggest thing is just going out there and testing myself. And like I said, I know I'm never going to be worth a damn.
Drink up.
Why is everybody-
That's where I'm at
best
now.
part about
Happy
it.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Dear God.
Even the dog's singing.
Birthday, dear Tyler. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
For everybody that can't see this, he's taking tequila shots, and there goes the podcast.
And there goes the neighborhood.
I love how that happened right when I was talking about how shitty I am at riding dirt bikes.
All right, so y'all want to move down the line, see what
No, so-
Craig's got in line?
Like, my biggest thing is, like, I do want to race next year. My plan right now is to get a new bike and race next year. But it's just, it's weird for me to race knowing that, like, I'm never going to get
Dude,
That's
if
the
when
whole
you
fun.
accept
to the
it,
level
when
of
you
anybody in
accept
this
it,
room.
Except
And you just go, dude, honestly, so I ran Open A last year. Like, I beat Connor a couple times.
When did you beat me?
Snowshoe last year.
You did beat me at Snowshoe.
And I
I'm not
also
even gonna
beat you
lie.
at Mountaineer Run.
Oh.
Yeah, those technical tracks, because you're an old man that can ride it.
Hey, well-
I'm a young buck. I like the wide open
Hey,
stuff.
well, anyways.
come back to
So-
woods racing, bud.
So I was like, hey,
There isn't
I had
woods
some,
racing
I had
anymore.
some
Bring
great,
back the woods.
I had some great runs in Open A, the asshole class, whatever y'all call it earlier.
Open asshole.
Open asshole, yeah.
Open a-holes.
Open
Open
A-holes.
A-holes.
Close enough. Well, I had some good rides. Like, I thought I was going back to 25 plus and like.
Where
I
did the
wasn't
tequila
feeling it.
go?
But honestly, I rode slower in 25 plus just because, dude, the first lap in Open A, they're balls to the wall, man. I hated that shit.
Dude, it scares me going
I
that fast on the
hated
first
it.
lap. It scares me.
Dude, I took off the
wonder
first
how
lap
y'all
in my
do it.
class, and we're all just like, everybody's chilling. Like, we're all pushing, but nobody's wrecking. Well, I did a couple times, but like we're all just like
He's a freshman.
we're all riding at our pace. Like we were all riding where we knew we could ride, and we were all be there at the end of the race.
Open A, you're wide open, full on race pace on
And
the first
half
lap.
the people finish.
I hate
That
it.
don't even make sense.
But you know what?
It's weird to hear him say that 'cause he's the smoothest guy on the track if you watch.
You know what my favorite
it's
philosophy
crazy.
in racing is? If you're gonna finish first you must finish.
That's a good one, man. That was deep.
Good job,
Dude, you
Jack.
should
I've
write some
never
Hallmark
heard that
solid.
before.
You should write some Hallmark cards, man.
That's
So
it.
I raced the Mid-East race a couple weeks ago.
Was that on Days of Thunder or something?
Days of Thunder is
Hit
my
the
favorite
pace
movie.
car.
Why would I hit the pace car? You've hit everything else out there. I want you to be fucking perfect.
I raced the Mid-East like, what was it? 2
Can
weeks
make you
ago?
warm on it.
Dude, I don't even like. I've come to the point in my life where like I love riding dirt bikes, but like I hate riding dirt bikes as fast as I can. It's just sketchy. So
I like going fast, man.
Push the
Like
I do
Ricky
too.
Bobby.
Dude.
I
at that race, dude, I was struggling.
I love
At
that.
16, my dad came up with the risk reward thing. So, if say there was a triple or there was a crazy technical, like you could pop this right here, there. If you were going to make up this much time or you were going to lose this much time, was it worth it? Or could you hit this and maybe lose
Dude.
a second every lap and you weren't going to wad it up?
Well,
You're
let me
killing
tell you what
all
a triple.
the cliche quotes, man.
Let me go ahead and tell you what a triple will do
I'm
to
doing my
you.
best.
Get Hallmark down here real quick.
Yeah, listen to
Hey.
Connor.
Hey guys,
Hey, I heard one time. This is a true quote from me, man. Winning isn't everything.
let me go ahead and tell you what a triple will do to you. I hit a triple one time and cased it about a foot short, and I now have a metal foot, and I can't run or jump. And that's about 4 years now. So don't hit triples. That's the end of story,
That's 4
kids.
years.
Or you could try to hit the big ski jump that used to be at Daniels
That was
Ridge on
4
that
years ago.
85.
Yeah,
Almost 4 years now, yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
I did it on the 85 5 times and then got out there on the 125. I was like, oh, just get back here on the 85 and try to hit it like I did on the 125. Came up a bit short.
Greg,
My
what are you
bike
doing
stays on
next
the
year?
ground.
Craig,
Driving dump
trucks.
trucks, looking for winning.
How about the
I
fat
like to
women?
run. Well, we don't need to talk about it.
What kind of
Yeah,
women?
we do.
Oh, well.
Can that dump truck tow him?
Do you like your women
Not right
like
now,
you,
it can't.
Do you
Not
like
one
your
of them.
women like you like your dump trucks?
He does.
Well,
Fat.
4 axles.
yeah, I don't like them to run, obviously. Yeah, but then they
Two-ton.
like my dump trucks. I don't like it to run, so I can keep up with them.
what was that saying?
Hold on, real quick.
If
Is
she
this gonna
ain't-
end
if
in
she
senior? Let's
ain't-
go
I'm the
in.
king of this.
No,
I don't care
everything's
if I start
going
talking
in.
All right,
shit.
I can
If
appreciate
she
that.
ain't
We don't
380,
edit
she ain't a
anything.
lady, and I'll be goddamn if that ain't how it is.
If she ain't 380, she ain't a lady. So
If
she
she's
ain't
big enough, she can't run from you. And
No,
she better be able to
Craig,
cook for
I
you.
heard
Yeah.
about
Well, the lady.
a run-in. I don't know if
Hey
this
man,
is
you
true or
can't
not.
find a hole, pick a roll.
I did hear about a run-in with a 315
Dude,
pounder.
I'm about to drop an elbow on your ass real quick. And it's
Jack,
gonna
Is
hurt.
that not public knowledge?
If you did
Oh,
it, don't
it's public
deny
knowledge.
it.
I like to run around a little bit. I like to party. I'm not gonna lie about it. I party on the weekends.
What you doing next year, Jack?
Wait,
Next
year.
year.
I'm still waiting to hear about Craig's
Yeah,
adventure.
Craig's next year ain't
We'll
done yet.
get there. That's
oh,
after dark.
Dump trucks and
that's
baby
true.
women.
Yeah,
Overdozer's only plowing 300 and over.
yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Overdozer.
I don't know. I'd like to.
I like it.
Overdozer.
Overdozer.
Yes.
That's
They
it.
call me that all night
sticking.
long.
Dude,
That's
that is
Oh.
it.
T-shirt.
The
back.
overdozer.
Yeah, look,
That's the
drunk,
first I picked
you
up
bunch
on
of
it.
drunk sons of bitches. You know that? With your
Every time
fucking
I see your
mohawk.
name pop up, that's what
I'm not
Right.
drunk, and
Yeah.
I still find that pretty entertaining.
I never
Oh, your
thought
hair's all
of
combed back. You look like you're hammered.
Well, let me put my hat back on. 'cause
Public
I've had it
service
on all day.
announcement: Braxton McGee and Connor Smith do not partake in any type of illegal drugs, alcohol, or anything along that sort.
Also,
I was saying, I was backing you
Braxton
up. I was
McGee
backing
does
you
not
up.
say a single word when he's on a podcast.
No, he's been
It's a
quiet.
pissing contest.
Braxton tried to talk earlier and you cut him off, so I don't
Braxton,
want to hear
talk,
it.
buddy. What do you got to say?
I ain't got nothing to say now.
Okay, so Craig, are you racing next year?
Because he's
Yeah,
just
playing
gonna
on it. I
hate
like to run
the
full
alcohol.
gases and
Okay.
Virginia series because I think all the other locals around here suck. So
Don't you talk about Bjorn Hamrick like that.
Exactly.
I probably drink a beer with
the
them. but I don't
Mid-East
race the series anymore. I think
Mid-East
it's
is
trash.
badass.
The
dude.
Mid-East has went to trash since Buren quit his regular job.
Dude, Mid-East is
No,
sick.
Mid-East used to be sick until Buren shut down the body shop or whatever, and now it's freaking trash.
Now hold on, T-Shep. Last
Y'all
time you guys
bullshit.
got on here and started trash talking people, you ended up having to delete a bunch of it out. So why don't we stop trash talking people?
I'm saying that Bjorn Hamrick is the shit, and I think Mid-East
No,
is
he's
the
a cool
best
guy.
damn local series.
Yeah, Bjorn's a
this
cool
side
guy,
of
for
Mississippi.
sure.
Buren's a
I just don't really like
Buren
them. I'm
is
from
an
Ohio.
awesome guy,
So I
but
don't
the
really-
tracks have gone progressively downhill.
I mean, I'm from Ohio. That's why I
How?
moved down
He's-
here.
Well, the
Definitely
tracks
gonna
haven't
see
gone
this.
downhill. It's the fact that they've been ran so much over the
It's the
years. They're
same
just
woods.
getting beat now, and
Dude,
it's
they
all
got
the same
so many
track.
new tracks this year.
Yeah, no.
And all the old tracks that they were doing, they're clear cutting new stuff.
Well, I'm
which
just saying.
kind of sucks sometimes.
I like the middies. They're fun.
I
But
just think, as
coming
far
from-
as, go ahead.
coming from the point of view of your average rider, it's like everybody's rode that track every year, once to twice a year.
For 20
It might get a
years.
little bit old after a while.
I think they started.
Oh, so like GNCC.
So they started.
Pretty much,
They started airport in what 1946.
Yeah, but I think the Virginia series is the best one because I'm from Ohio, so these races down here, I'm not used to this at all still. I still suck at it. But when I go to Virginia, it's almost like the woods of Ohio, and I think the Virginia series is the best local round, and they're all about 3 hours away, and I have no problem driving 3 hours on a Sunday for a
Which
real
one,
good track.
the VCHS?
I've rode
or
them
the
both.
VXCS?
I think the best track on the freaking planet is Lake Sugar Tree. The woods track
I
there.
haven't done that.
Lake
That's
Sugar
all.
Tree.
It
is
is
sick.
absolutely I think
We had a
it's
full gas there,
badass.
didn't we?
Yeah, there was a full
Yeah,
gas.
the full
there.
gas there was real good. It was muddy, but it was still fun.
It was
We were in Axton.
So, fun fact about, I don't mean to cut
Oh,
you
you're
off.
good,
man. So, fun fact about the Lake Sugar Tree full gas is I went and swept ride it right after we finished.
Yeah.
Dude, 2 trees fell right in the middle of the race course. Like, as soon as the racing ended.
I do remember coming up on a tree. So one of them was down for that last test.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I know 2 trees were down, and Hooper was like, "What do you mean 2 trees are down? I just got done riding it."
And I do know there were a bunch of banners down, probably because of the fact that there was no traction up there. But
Can I get all
And
again?
it was
Because
so-
What about the tree falling at the lady at
Yeah,
Iron
that's
Man?
what I was
Oh,
thinking.
that was shitty. Yeah.
Like, what does anyone know exactly what was she just walking through
She
the
was
woods?
she was a spectator.
Watch,
Yeah.
her son was racing during the mini race. If I read
Yeah,
correctly.
but-
no, this was during the
race.
3-hour race here.
This was
it was during the 3 hour.
Yeah.
It was during the 3 hour.
But Sue and
I think it was Trisha with her.
Trisha had just left there, and they walked up the hill, and
That
that
was
lady
like
was standing there, and the
Yeah,
tree fell on her.
The mile marker 4 lady, I think, called it in.
It was right down there.
So everyone thought it was.
On the
At
other
first,
side of
everyone
the
was like,
creek,
"Oh, it was the lady at
cut it
mile
off.
marker 4."
Yeah, where they cut it off.
Scanning. It was her. And then everything got cleared up, and she was the one that called it in. But it was right on the other side, of the far side of the
So
grass
like,
track.
was she just?
That's like
Was
the
she, is
Twin
that where she
Hills
was
or
just
something like
spectating
that?
at?
She was just standing there, and a
Standing
tree
there.
fell on her.
Damn.
Yeah, it's shitty.
That's
crazy.
On a
kind.
lighter
Condolences out to that
note,
family, though.
Braxton, what are you doing next
condolences
year?
out
I
to
got
that family.
completely skipped.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, you know you ain't doing
I
nothing,
asked
so
you.
why we were asking?
Ooh.
Yeah, Trevor did ask you.
I got.
And then I brought it back
Jack.
to Cobra Dozer.
Well, you guys see, I let Jack Reep
You're
take the
young,
450 for a spin, and he's got the dirt bike hitch back in him now. So
Jack Reep texted me the other day and said he was getting himself a Husky 450, and I said, "You're gay." And he said, "I might
what are
get
you?
an
What are you
RMZ
trying to say
450."
here?
You
I'm
heard
pretty
exactly
sure I
what he
made it
said.
loud and clear, Connor. I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
So,
Jack, what's your plans next year?
so next year,
Definitely so. White is right.
I think I'm gonna sign up for the Navy and try to be a Navy SEAL. Just kidding.
That's fucking,
so
that's lame.
next year I would love to set up a financing plan on a Husqvarna. Probably get a 450, but they'll probably only finance me on an 85. So it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna ride the full gases next year because that's about what shape I'm in. So the full gases would be fun, and then probably hit a couple local middies races. But Kawasaki's gonna be paying so much money next year. It's gonna be hard to.
They're paying a lot.
It's gonna be hard to not buy a Kawasaki 450.
We've been asking around. We still can't figure out exactly what they're paying. That'd be nice
Yeah.
to know before we go freaking buy something.
Yeah, so I'd like to see some numbers
Because that's
before
what we were
I
talking about.
before I
Look on the website.
set in on a bike
Well,
because
that's what we checked last week. I mean, if they're paying good money, it'd be stupid not to go buy one. Especially for full gas, but it's not.
I heard the
Half moto, pretty much, so you might as well go buy one.
I heard the Kawasaki was paying $350 for a Open B in the National Series, a win.
Dang.
And I'm a solid rider in a B class, so I mean it ain't. If you run 16 races, that's $3,200. That's half your damn bike in 1 year in Kawasaki bucks.
So Braxton, you buying a cow? You racing B class?
Mm-hmm.
We're fucked.
I've been out for 3 years, so I can race B class because I was running AA, but your boy's been out of AMA for 3 years, so he can sign up for whatever class he wants to.
I need a D class.
I mean, an E class would be better for me. Is there a washed up class? Because that would be the game.
25 plus. That's a
Yeah, I'm 21.
Hey!
I got washed up at 17. I went from AA at 17 to nobody.
I never quit. I just went from...
I didn't quit. The finances quit on me.
Wait, what's the definition
Are
of
we
being
allowed to get any insight?
In
on
order to be
golf
washed up, you have to be a decent rider to start with.
So
right?
I'll do the insight for Braxton and
Hard
Connor.
Hard no from everybody. Trevor Barrett,
What?
what's your plans for next year, dog?
I'm racing.
Well, good.
What about them other blue bikes? Are we allowed to talk about that?
You can talk about it.
So, what about those Sherco machines?
With TMs.
I'd ride one.
Have you heard anything else about it?
Haven't called them.
I haven't called them.
Freaking professionalism at its
I can tell you're
best.
taking this seriously.
Y'all want a gas guy? Should have lent me the.
Taking him out as
Full gas
serious
machine
as
for a
he
weekend,
is
so I'm gonna
Connor
find one
Smith's
out.
sister.
There you go.
You
Actually,
see-
since we're online. Somebody's giving me a call. I just want to ride him for a weekend.
That's about what
Thing
he's doing with
is-
Connor's
Get
sister.
you a factory full gas sponsorship.
Full gas.
Full gas. See, that's my problem. When I ride the gas, I'm more on the brakes. So it
That is
doesn't
the
work
whole
out.
problem. It's all in the name, bud. It's all in the
Yeah,
name.
exactly.
So
And it's from Europe, so I don't know why it's not a petrol.
I mean, I rode one full gas. I
full
ran,
petrol.
huh?
Full petrol.
I ran one full petro.
Except tequila's catching up with him, man.
I ran 2 woods tests at the West Virginia. That Jared
Oh, in an old Braxton McGee jersey.
in a Braxton McGee jersey.
Dude,
Jared,
you
what
came
class-
up like
what
you
class
kept
was he?
like saying what's up to me, or like waving. I was like, who the fuck is this guy talking to me?
Remember what class he was in?
Open
I don't
C.
Open C. You ever want a test?
No. But you gotta think of it this way. This was
We'll try.
I went out on day 2. Everybody's already seen the test. Went out on day 2. Got on a bike I'd never been on. I physically had to catch and pass 5 people in the fucking class during the woods test. So that definitely hindered the timing on my test.
But you're illegal.
Sounds like you're making excuses.
That's what I heard.
Excuses are like assholes.
Everybody's got one?
Some stink more than worse. Some stink more than others.
Good call.
More than
Yeah, some taste better than others too.
I'm not going there.
All right, Ronnie.
egg.
Shut up.
The ringer has arrived.
So I'm going back to what I know.
So you're riding Shercos next year.
Smokers.
Never
Two
rode a
strokes,
Sherco in
boy.
my life.
So what are you racing next year?
Like what bike?
Are you getting on a Yamabog again, or?
I heard you were pulling cable.
I'm pulling cable again.
I do that every day. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You're pulling wires different.
I'm pulling MC. It's
I'm pulling
Yeah,
ass.
metal clad cable.
Yeah, you're pulling wire. I'm pulling cable. It's different.
I
Fair enough.
Is
literally.
Cable and Pootie Tang the same thing or no?
I definitely pull.
Definitely
both.
the same thing.
So, gravity never fails. Pre-mix smells awesome. That's all I'm saying.
So I hear a 250X.
We haven't decided on that yet.
Ooh.
So are you searching the team avenue, or you're doing your own
No.
damn thing?
I have a lot of the same sponsors that I had the past 2 years, but not from Yamaha.
What about Atlas Cycles?
Maybe.
What about? I don't know anybody else.
There ain't no JR in there.
JR.
Jason Reigns.
Oh. He's a cool dude. He'd probably help me out.
There's a Jason Reigns
But-
Yamaha demo ride day this weekend.
There is, and I'll be there.
Where's
Me
it
too.
at?
GTR.
So who wants to pick a homie up and let him ride with him?
The
If you can get to my house, I'll bring you.
I get to your house.
All right.
But
I want to ride that new 250F. That's what I'm thinking about getting.
Isn't the
I'll be
KTM
bring-
ride day this weekend?
No,
too?
you want to go ride the
It'll
300 SX.
it'll probably get canceled.
I'll be riding that Sunday.
I'm gonna be on a cruise.
You're right. I'll be going to the KTM ride day on Sunday, so I'll be riding the 250 SX
If it's
Fair
and
enough.
a 300 XE.
If they're
Well,
not
the
canceling.
300 SX is a
If they're not
completely different animal than anything you've ever
I
ridden.
know. That's the Robbie Marshall machine.
It's really not that bad.
You
It's
can't
pretty
re-
smooth until you
You
want
can't
it. It's not
refer it
bad.
to anything
Yeah, when you
other
want it,
than the
it's there.
Robbie Marshall machine. Because he qualified 5th at Southwick
What a freaking
on a 300 SX.
Badass.
I'm not gonna be the bearer of bad news here, but it's 12:30.
Guys, I gotta be up at 5:45.
I've got to be up at 5.
Have to be.
It's funny thing about being self-employed, my dump truck hating me. I ain't gotta do shit tomorrow.
It's my birthday.
But it's half day Fridays tomorrow.
Hey,
We're celebrating a GTR.
I'll be off by 11 tomorrow. So, Sonny Leffert concert tomorrow afternoon?
What?
Tomorrow night, Sonny Leffert concert?
Who's that?
My uncle.
Who is Sonny Leffert?
Sure. I don't care.
Tomorrow night, Sonny Leffert concert.
Where at?
The Rock House, Gastonia.
I saw
Why are you guys getting up? What's going on?
Stop.
Damn, you can't even wait for the podcast to end. You're just ready to go.
The
Like,
podcast.
no bye, no nothing.
We already know this podcast is gonna end up blowing all to hell once you edit it.
I'm not editing nothing.
Ooh.
Everything's going in.
Throw it in there, bud.
Except for maybe that stuff at the beginning, but...
So, on a better note,
We'll do a podcast at GTR.
the USA teams are in strictly
Thanks,
seconds.
Are you guys really leaving right now?
I am leaving.
I'm going to bed. I
can't
gotta go to work in
End
the
it or
morning.
nothing? You don't even work.
Oh, fuck.
What do you do?
I gotta pull some wire tomorrow.
Post tomorrow.
Trevor works 1 day a week.
No, I wish.
I told your mom that Scotty B is coming to the damn Christmas party because he's the only person I'm gonna hang out with.
I'm coming to the Christmas party.
No, you're not.
Tell me when it is. I'll come.
November 30th.
I'll be working there by then.
Are any of y'all going to the
Yeah,
GNCC
we'll be doing
banquet?
Monday.
I am
Monday
going to be
what?
up there.
I would like to go. I don't
Most
have
likely
any
starting
credentials
next
to be
week.
there,
Listen
but
here.
I would love to go
Fucking
to one.
Swear to God. I'll text you Charles Friday.
I'm cruising
You're
up there in the
lying. What do you
STI,
say?
probably by myself.
Show me the
I'll
text.
go. I've got a tux.
Trevor Barrett, you about to be working?
The only thing
Again.
is I'm not getting a room, so we got to find somebody to stay with.
Oh, we'll get a room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You mean you need to get somebody to get you a room?
No, I'll find somebody to stay with.
I'm gonna stay with
Don't say the name because I know who you're thinking about saying.
T-Shep.
I'll be at the banquet.
Hey,
I'm riding the all factory
Sorry,
back
y'all can find me. I'll be
OTP
drunk somewhere.
Husqvarna
Already
next
have a
year.
room.
Nope, I don't sport Husqvarna, Yamaha,
you
or
go?
nothing.
Well, you can suck a fat dick
Or
too,
gas,
bitch.
gas.
Yamaha or nothing.
I
Yamaha
got a
or
couple
nothing.
outside sponsors coming in.
Connor and Braxton.
Oberholzer
Yes.
trucking.
You got some money.
We came
yeah.
here because we've been wanting to do a show with you guys.
Well,
But
that
y'all
didn't quite work
suck.
out tonight.
You guys
because
haven't much said much of
I talk
anything.
more than Braxton.
I've been talking
I don't
way
know
more
about anything.
than Braxton.
I damn checked you guys into a hotel one time.
You did, and you came in clutch with that
Twice.
because then we had a nice place to sleep and a nice warm shower.
I bet they didn't get it as cheap as I did.
Yeah, T-Shep hooked me up with this.
No, we actually
bed
did.
and a shower
T-Shep,
one
we
time,
got
too, in
the
Florida.
T-Shep deal on that one.
We didn't have as good as hotels though.
It wasn't as nice of a hotel,
Dude,
but
we
it
went
was a
to-
good deal.
We went to West Virginia for the full gas, and we walked into the Holiday Inn, and she was like, "Our rooms were $195 a night." I was like, "No, that's not working." And she was like, "How about $150?" I was like, "No, that ain't gonna work either." And she's like, "The best thing I can do is the government discount's $98 a night." I was like, "There we go." So we got the Holiday Inn that night for $98, and they were $195 a night.
He just got
That
that poor
works.
girl fired.
What round was it? They came up, but got there late Friday and didn't have anywhere to stay. I don't even remember what round that was.
Like 2 or 3 from the end,
Yeah, like Pennsylvania maybe.
maybe.
You picking that up?
So, everyone's getting rambunctious. Are we ending this thing?
I think it's time for us to go home.
This is going downhill. I think.
Quickly.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for episode number 14 of the podcast.
On
Make
the
sure
pipe!
on the Pipe podcast, making sure you're checking out armoredgraphics.com. That's Armored Graphics with an X. Graphics is spelled with an X. Check them out, armoredgraphics.com. They are
Definitely big shout out to Armored Graphics.
Big
They
shout out
are
to
the
Oberholzer trucking for sponsoring us.
Oberholzer truck.
Armored Graphics are by far amazing. They hold up well. They go on super easy. They come right off. Don't leave any glue. Hit them up.
If anybody is looking for a mechanic for the upcoming season, Jack Reep is available.
Jack Reep said he's
free.
racing. Don't listen in.
I can also
Anyway,
vouch for that because my bike held up the last 2 races after Jack Reep wrenched on it. So
But
I
the
have
clutch
yet-
cover's never been off it, right?
I've yet to have.
Well, we switched
Except for
clutch.
that aftermarket clutch cover.
I've yet to have a DNA.
No
But
other
other
bolts.
than that,
Yeah, other than that.
yeah, other than that whole like motor rebuild, nothing's been done to.
It's never been
So anyway, check out Armored Graphics, armoredgraphics with an X.com or at Armored Graphics Inc. Make sure you're using promo code OTP. It'll save
Let the play
15%. It'll save you 15% on every single thing in their store. Whether you need semi-custom kits, you need number plates, you need replica JGR graphics, whether you need hat shirts, anything. Check out armorgraphics.com. Graphics with an X. Use promo code OTP. Thanks everyone for joining in. This was episode number 14 with myself, Tyler Bruton, Braxton McGee, Connor Smith, Allie Smith, Trevor Barrett, Jack Reep, and Craig Oberholzer. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.